Here's what we are going to use to make this cake. We're going to use a bench scraper, some kind of spatula, your cake boards, a turntable. I use straws to stack my cakes with, some buttercream, your cake, and whatever you're going to decorate your cake with. I am using fresh flowers, so therefore I'm going to use some plastic wrap to wrap the stems because I do not put fresh flowers in the cake. That is nasty in my opinion. So I wrap the stems of my flowers before I stick them in my cake. I mean, I know you've poured out the water where you've had some fresh flowers and it smelled like sewage. Why would you stick that in your cake? Anyway, let's get started and I'll show you how easy it is. Since this is going to be a naked cake, I'm going to go ahead and stack it right on my plate, my cake stand. So I'm going to start, I'm going to put just a little bit of buttercream to hold my first tier on here. And I'm going to actually use this one on the bottom. So now I'm going to put some buttercream and I'm going to make sure I rub it out toward the edges. I'm going to put a piece of no skid down to make my cake sit still. So we will put a layer of buttercream here and we're going to make sure that it goes out over the edge just a little because that's what's going to get scraped along the edge. Flatten that out. Kind of a nice even layer. Oops, it keeps dragging off. All right. We'll take our next tier and stack on top of that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my scraper and I'm going to scrape around it. This is going to give us that naked cake look. That's not as much as I would like, so I'm going to come back and put more and then scrape it back down. And I'm going to take my scraper and I'm going to scrape all that back off. Like that. My plate is curved, so it's not letting me get in here to the bottom. So let me go ahead and straighten that up. I'm going to put some on the top. And then you just basically scrape the most of it back off so that your cake is peeking through. I'll come back and clean this bottom edge up just a little bit better in a minute. You just barely want it to have buttercream on it. And see, it leaves, you know, a lot of your cake showing through. Now, I'm going to take and do the very same thing with the upper tier. I'm going to put a little bit down so it'll stick to my board. I'm going to do the same thing. I'll put this one on the bottom. Let's make sure it looks, I'm going to trim it just a little bit more so that none of this board shows. Normally, that's what I use as a guide of how much buttercream to put on my cake, but since this one is going to be showing, I don't want that board to be left. So we'll put some on this one. I'm going to get a nice even layer so that your cake will sit level. That. Then we're going to put our top tier on. And then ice it just like we did the last one. All right. Now I'm going to come back and start scraping it right back off. Right, let's level that up and then scrape it down. And you still want the edge to be pretty, so come back in and clean the edges up. Pull that icing toward the middle to give it a pretty edge. Alright, that one is done. I'm going to come in here and clean up my cake plate, and then I'm going to stack them, and guys, we'll be done. I'll decorate it with the flowers. Now, here's what I do to stack my cakes. I use my straws. I stick one down in there to get the height. I stick it there, I put my scissors on it, and then pull it back, pull it all the way out, and cut it. Then I stand all the rest of the straws up. Actually, I go from this way. Cut them all the same length by your first guide one. I put that first one back in. All right. Now we're going to put this tier on top of that one. I'm going to put a dollop of buttercream here to hold this top tier in place, kind of like glue. I've decided I'm going to use this as the front, so I'm going to turn this one and decide which way I want the front of this one. I think I'm going to use this right here as the front. So, let me stack it up. Got it too far to the back. And guys, it is just that easy. Now I'm going to come back in with my flowers and decorate it like I want, and it's done. This cake really doesn't even need instructions because it is so easy. It's pretty, it looks kind of Victorian, kind of vintagey looking to me, but I'll show you the finished product as soon as I get the flowers on it. And that is a naked cake, guys. It is so easy. Literally, from the minute I started until I had the last flower put in, we're talking like 30 minutes.